Hey everyone, welcome to the latest in AI, your weekly podcast on the latest, greatest, and sometimes craziest developments in artificial intelligence. I'm Sarah, your co host, and as always, I'm joined by the ever enthusiastic, perpetually caffeinated Adam.
That's right. I've got my coffee, I've got my notes, and I'm ready to dive into the wonderful wild world of AI. Seriously, I don't know if we'll ever catch up to everything happening in the AI space. It's moving at breakneck speed. But hey, that's why we're here, to make sense of it for you, our listeners.
So true. Whether you're just curious about what AI means for your job or you're coding up the next big thing in your garage, we've got something for you. So let's get started. First off, Adam, what's the biggest AI headline you've seen this week?
Well, you might have seen it too, Sarah, but one of the biggest stories is OpenAI's announcement about their latest version of GPT, which they're calling GPT Next. This isn't just another upgrade like before, where it gets a bit better at understanding text. It's supposedly creative, like deeply creative. We're talking AI-generated novels that are good enough to be published, music compositions that are actually emotionally compelling, and even art that's being exhibited in galleries.
Right? That's the story I've been buzzing about too. I mean, we've all seen AI-generated content before, like those clunky AI-written scripts or songs where it's obvious a machine made it. But this new wave feels different. I heard a demo where the AI wrote a short story, and I swear I could barely tell it wasn't written by a human. It had nuance, actual emotion. Adam, are we entering a future where AI is a legitimate co-creator in art and media?
That's the million-dollar question, Sarah. Honestly, it's a bit mind-bending to think about. I remember a time when creativity was considered the one thing machines couldn't touch. Creativity was supposed to be uniquely human, right? But now it feels like AI is inching closer to blurring that line, and it's not just writing stories or songs. GPT Next is also working on full-length movie scripts, complete with character arcs and subplots.
You're right, it really does make you rethink what creativity means. Do you think we'll start seeing AI compete with human artists, like actually replacing them in some areas?
I don't know if replace is the right word, but collaborate. Definitely. Imagine an artist sitting down with an AI assistant. They could have it generate ideas, refine concepts, or even produce art based on their rough sketches. It's not about the AI taking over. It's about making the creative process faster, more efficient, and dare I say, even more fun.
But then, there's the flip side to that. Some artists are worried this could cheapen creativity. If anyone can use AI to generate a painting, a song, or a novel, does that take away from the human skill, effort, and soul that usually goes into those things?
Yeah, I get that. It's a valid concern. I think we're headed toward a big cultural debate on this. Are AI creations real art? Will people value something less because a machine helped make it? And does it even matter as long as people enjoy the result? It's going to be interesting to see where this goes.
I agree. The evolution of AI as a creative tool is definitely a double-edged sword. But one thing's for sure, it's going to open up a whole new world of possibilities for creators and consumers alike. I can't wait to see how this plays out over the next few years. All right, speaking of AI collaborations, let's shift gears a bit. Another big headline from this week is AI making more waves in the job market. And no, I'm not just talking about the usual scare tactics of robots taking over every job in sight. We've got some really interesting developments. Did you see the report from Goldman Sachs? They're predicting that AI could automate nearly 30% of all tasks in the financial sector within the next decade.
Yeah, that's huge. And what's even more fascinating to me is that it's not just basic repetitive tasks like processing transactions or data entry. AI is getting smart enough to handle complex financial modeling, risk assessment, even high-level strategy, basically the tasks that have always required a human brain.
Right? And what's wild is that it's not just finance. We're seeing this across healthcare, law, education, you name it. These fields that traditionally required years of human expertise are being disrupted by AI systems that can learn and adapt on the fly. So, Adam, is this the end for a lot of white-collar jobs?
End? I wouldn't say end, but we're definitely in for some serious transformation. I think we'll see a big shift in how work is done rather than a total replacement. AI can handle data crunching and analysis faster and more accurately than any human, sure. But where humans will still have an edge is in interpreting those results, making decisions based on intuition, and understanding the broader context. Machines can be brilliant, but they don't have gut instincts or emotional intelligence.
Exactly. And that's where I think the biggest change will be. Not in AI replacing us, but in how we work with AI. We'll need to learn how to use these tools effectively. Think about it. Doctors might not need to memorize thousands of diseases anymore. Instead, they'll rely on AI to pull up diagnoses and focus on patient care. Lawyers won't need to comb through endless documents for a case. AI will do that, and they'll focus on the actual courtroom strategy.
Right, it's all about finding the balance. And I think it'll make some jobs more interesting, taking away the grunt work and leaving the more creative or strategic parts for us humans. But we can't ignore the fact that there will be disruptions. Some jobs, especially those in routine-heavy industries, will disappear. So the challenge is going to be retraining workers, helping people adapt to this new AI-assisted world.
That's a big one. I was reading about new programs popping up. AI literacy courses, retraining programs for professionals, and let's not forget about ethical questions. Should companies be obligated to help retrain workers displaced by AI? It's going to be a long, complex road to figure that out.
For sure. I think governments, industries, and educational institutions will need to come together on this. It's not just about AI replacing jobs. It's about preparing the workforce for this new age where AI is part of almost every profession. But hey, maybe in the future, we'll all have an AI assistant helping us out at work, like a personal sidekick.
Maybe. I'm already dreaming of having an AI to answer all my emails. Okay, Adam, time for the big question. The one that always seems to come up when people talk about AI. Are we getting closer to AI that's actually conscious?
Oof, here we go. The age-old question, are we building Skynet or are we still just working with glorified calculators?
Right. And I'm asking because of this new study that just dropped from DeepMind. They're suggesting that with current advancements, it's possible AI could develop something akin to self-awareness within the next 50 years. I mean, what does that even mean? Self-aware AI?
Yeah, this is the stuff that sends us down the philosophical rabbit hole. I read the study, and the thing is, they're not saying AI will be conscious in the same way humans are. They're talking more about AI developing a form of self-understanding, a kind of awareness of its own processes. It's like right now AI follows commands, analyzes data, and makes decisions based on that input. But they're exploring whether AI could get to the point where it reflects on its own decision-making process and adapts in real time. Imagine an AI that asks itself, "Why did I make this choice?" and adjusts based on that.
Wow, that's intense. But that's still not quite consciousness, right? I mean, when we talk about human consciousness, we're talking about emotions, a sense of identity, even morality. Could AI ever really reach that level?
It's unlikely, at least in the way we think about human consciousness. There's still a massive gap between processing information and actually feeling something. But this is where the ethics come in. If an AI starts to show signs of something like self-awareness, how do we treat it? Do we give it rights? Does it become a person in some sense? There's a lot of theoretical work going into this right now.
And that's where it gets tricky, right? If AI does get to the point where it can reflect on its actions, make decisions, and evolve based on its own thoughts, are we responsible for what it does? If an AI makes a decision that harms someone, is that on the developers or on the AI itself?
That's one of the biggest questions. Right now, if an AI messes up, it's considered the fault of the people who programmed it. But in a future where AI can learn from its own mistakes and adapt, it might not be so simple. We're going to need new laws, new guidelines. The concept of AI rights might not be as far-fetched as it sounds.
Yeah, and we're probably going to see more debates on this as AI continues to evolve. For now, though, I think we're safe from a robot uprising.
For now. But give it another decade and who knows? Maybe AI will be co-hosting this podcast with us.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. But until that day comes, we'll keep breaking down the latest AI news for all you listeners out there. All right, that's all the time we've got for today. Thanks so much for tuning into the latest in AI. We'll be back next week with more news, insights, and maybe even a few philosophical debates about the future of artificial intelligence.
Yup, whether AI is taking over your job or helping you write the next great novel, we've got you covered. Make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and tell us what you think about today's topics. Are we ready for AI to get creative? Is your job safe? Let us know.
Until next time, this is Sarah and Adam signing off. Stay curious, everyone.
Catch you next episode.